In the annals of archaeology, few discoveries have sparked as much debate and imagination as the artifact known as the Baghdad Battery. This enigmatic object challenges our understanding of ancient technology and the capabilities of past civilizations. The story begins in 1936, near the modern city of Baghdad, Iraq, a region steeped in millennia of history. During an excavation at Kujut Rabu, a small village southeast of Baghdad, archaeologists unearthed a peculiar item. It was a small, unassuming terracotta pot, roughly 13 centimeters in height, seemingly ordinary at first glance. However, its contents would soon become the subject of intense speculation and scientific curiosity. Inside the jar was a cylinder made of a sheet of rolled copper, meticulously crafted and inserted. This copper cylinder was sealed at the bottom with a copper disc, also held in place by asphalt or bitumen. Suspended in the center of the copper cylinder, but not touching it, was an iron rod. This rod was held in place at the top by another asphalt plug, which also sealed the mouth of the jar. The entire assembly was remarkably well preserved, hinting at a deliberate and purposeful design. The artifact was dated to the Parthian or Sasanian periods, roughly between 250 BCE and 650 CE. This places its creation in a time long before the accepted invention of the electric battery by Alessandro Volta in 1800. It was Wilhelm König, the German director of the National Museum of Iraq at the time, who first proposed a revolutionary theory. In a 1940 paper, he suggested that this object was not a simple vessel but a galvanic cell, an ancient battery. König noted the similarity of the components, two different metals and a potential electrolyte, to the basic principles of electrochemistry. He hypothesized that if the jar were filled with an acidic liquid, such as vinegar or grape juice, it would produce an electric current. Chemical reaction between the copper, the iron, and the electrolyte would generate a small but measurable voltage. This theory, if true, would mean that ancient Mesopotamian artisans had discovered the secrets of electricity over a millennium before Volta. The idea was electrifying, capturing the public imagination and challenging mainstream historical narratives. Proponents of the ancient battery theory quickly began to speculate on its potential uses. The most popular and enduring hypothesis is that it was used for electroplating or gilding. This process involves using an electric current to deposit a thin layer of one metal, like gold, onto the surface of another, like silver. Such a technique would have been highly valuable, allowing for the creation of imitation gold objects for religious or decorative purposes. It could have provided a cheaper alternative to using solid gold, making luxurious items more accessible. To test this theory, numerous experiments have been conducted using replicas of the Baghdad Battery. Researchers have successfully built working models that, when filled with electrolytes like grape juice, produce a voltage of around 0.5 to 2 volts. Some experiments have even demonstrated that these replicas can be used to electroplate a small object with a very thin layer of metal. However, the process is incredibly slow, and the resulting layer is often flimsy and of poor quality. Another proposed use for the device lies in the realm of ancient medicine. Some theorists suggest the batteries could have been used for therapeutic purposes, such as pain relief. This idea is based on the known practice of using electric fish, like the torpedo fish, for treating ailments like headaches and gout in the ancient world. Perhaps the Baghdad Battery was an attempt to create an artificial source of this mysterious healing power. The low, tingling voltage produced by the battery might have been used in a form of electroacupuncture. A priest or healer could have used the object to deliver a mild, surprising shock during a ritual, creating a sense of magic or divine presence. The tingling sensation could have been interpreted as a spiritual or life-giving force. Despite these intriguing possibilities, The majority of archaeologists and historians remain highly skeptical of the battery theory. They argue that the evidence for it being a source of electricity is circumstantial at best. One of the most significant arguments against the theory is the complete absence of any associated electrical equipment. No wires, conductors, or any devices that could have utilized this electricity have ever been found from that period. If they had batteries, what did they power? There are no ancient light bulbs, no electroplated jewelry confirmed from the era, and no written records of such technology. The asphalt seal at the top of the jar also presents a problem for the battery hypothesis. A functioning battery would require frequent replenishment of the electrolyte as it evaporated or was consumed in the reaction. The hermetic seal would make this process difficult, if not impossible, without breaking and remaking the seal each time. This suggests the container was designed for long-term storage, not for active, repeated use. This leads to the most widely accepted alternative theory among mainstream archaeologists. This theory proposes that the jars were not batteries at all, but rather storage vessels for sacred scrolls. In this scenario, the terracotta jar provided a sturdy outer casing. The copper cylinder would have protected the delicate papyrus or parchment from damage. The iron rod could have served as a spindle around which the scroll was wrapped. The asphalt plugs would have sealed the container, protecting its precious contents from the elements and the passage of time. This explanation is supported by the discovery of similar objects at other archaeological sites, such as Seleucia. In these other locations, the vessels were found to contain the decayed remnants of organic material, likely scrolls. The use of different metals, copper and iron, might simply be a result of using the materials that were available and suitable for the task. There may have been no understanding of their electrochemical properties whatsoever. The scroll jar theory is elegant in its simplicity and requires no great leaps of faith about lost ancient technologies. It aligns with known cultural practices of preserving important texts and requires no missing evidence to be plausible. The debate, however, is far from over for many enthusiasts of alternative history. They argue that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Perhaps the associated electrical devices were made of perishable materials, or have simply not been found yet. Shows like Ancient Aliens have popularized the idea, suggesting extraterrestrial influence on ancient human technology. They posit that the Baghdad Battery is a piece of a much larger, forgotten technological puzzle. This has kept the mystery alive in popular culture, long after most archaeologists considered the case closed. Tragically, the original artifact's fate adds another layer of mystery to the story. The Baghdad Battery was housed in the National Museum of Iraq and was looted during the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Its current whereabouts are unknown, making further direct study of the original object impossible. We are left only with photographs, descriptions, and replicas to continue the investigation. So, what is the final verdict on this curious object? Was it a testament to a lost age of electrical wisdom? Or was it a mundane, yet elegant, solution for protecting sacred writings? The scientific and archaeological consensus leans heavily towards the scroll jar theory. The lack of supporting evidence for an electrical use is simply too significant to ignore for most experts. The object's construction is entirely consistent with that of a high-quality container for valuable documents. Yet, the Baghdad Battery remains a powerful symbol of the mysteries of the past. It reminds us that our ancestors were intelligent, resourceful, and capable of ingenious solutions. Even if it wasn't a battery, its craftsmanship is a testament to the skills of Parthian artisans. The story encourages us to ask questions and to challenge our assumptions about history. It serves as a classic example of how an extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence. While the allure of ancient electricity is strong, The quiet dignity of a well-made scroll jar is perhaps the more likely truth. The Baghdad Battery did not power a light bulb, but it has successfully powered our imaginations for decades. Its true power lies not in volts and amperes, but in its ability to make us wonder what if. The artifact's discovery site, Unravel, remains a place of historical significance. Koenig's initial paper, though likely incorrect, was a product of a curious and open mind. The electroplating theory, while popular, has been largely debunked by metallurgical analysis of artifacts from the period. No gilded items from Parthian Baghdad show the telltale signs of electrodeposition. The voltage produced by a single jar would be too weak for any practical gilding task. Connecting many jars in series could increase the voltage, but no evidence of such a setup exists. The medical theory is harder to disprove, as its effects would be subjective and leave no archaeological trace. However, it remains pure speculation, a story woven from a possibility. The scroll jar theory, by contrast, fits neatly into the known context of the time. Preserving knowledge was a critical activity in the ancient world. Durable containers would have been essential for protecting valuable texts from moisture and pests. The loss of the original artifact is a profound tragedy for archaeology. It prevents the use of modern analytical techniques that could potentially settle the debate. Cannot analyze the asphalt for traces of an electrolyte, or examine the corrosion patterns on the metals with new technology. The mystery persists, fueled by both genuine curiosity and a desire for history to be more exciting. Ultimately, the Baghdad Battery is a mirror reflecting our own perspectives. Skeptics see a simple jar, a testament to practical, mundane solutions. Believers see a spark of genius, a hint of a forgotten, technologically advanced past. The truth may be lost to time, buried under the sands of Iraq. But its story will continue to be told, a fascinating footnote in the grand narrative of human history. The artifact forces us to confront the limits of our archaeological knowledge. How many other objects have been misinterpreted in our museums? The Parthian Empire, where the object originated, was a crossroads of cultures. It blended Persian, Hellenistic, and regional influences, creating a unique cultural milieu. This environment was fertile ground for innovation and the exchange of ideas. Perhaps the idea of a galvanic cell was a fleeting concept, tested and then abandoned. Maybe it was a dead-end technology, a clever trick with no practical application at the time. This would explain the lack of a wider technological impact. The counter-argument is that fire gilding and other methods were already well established and effective. There was no pressing need for a new, weaker method of gilding. The simplest explanation, the scroll jar, remains the most scientifically robust. It requires no speculation about lost knowledge or undiscovered artifacts. The vessel's components are all functional for protecting a scroll. The iron rod prevents the scroll from collapsing inward. The copper cylinder provides a non-reactive barrier against the terracotta. And the asphalt cap provides a waterproof, airtight seal. Each part has a clear and logical purpose in this context. Battery is likely a modern projection of our own technological world onto the past. We see two metals and an empty space and immediately think of a battery. An ancient Parthian might have seen only a pot, a tube, and a pin. The mystery is less about the object itself, and more about our interpretation of it. It's a historical Rorschach test. What you see depends on what you are prepared to believe. The romantic notion of a forgotten electrical age is a powerful narrative. But the narrative of careful preservation of knowledge is equally profound. The Baghdad Battery remains a captivating enigma, a relic that bridges science and speculation. Its silence allows us to fill in the blanks with our most imaginative theories. Whether a simple container or a complex device, it has earned its place in history. The search for answers continues in labs and libraries around the world. New discoveries in the future may yet shed more light on this puzzle. Until then, the Baghdad Battery will continue to spark debate and inspire wonder. It represents a fascinating intersection of chemistry, history, and human ingenuity. The object itself is a quiet testament to a long-lost world. A world that, despite our best efforts, still holds many secrets from us. The final truth of the Baghdad Battery may never be fully charged, but its legacy is secure as one of archaeology's most compelling mysteries.